Well, hello, beautiful people. How we doing? It is another beautiful day, cloudy day, but it is a beautiful day, and we are back at it again. We are going to be doing the book, or continuing, I should say, the book. Excuse me. Your Life is Waiting by Lynn Grabhorn. And this is just another fascinating book. As we dive deeper into it, we're really starting to learn the ins and outs in very simplistic terms of how the law of attraction works and how like attracts like and the science behind it and just how people have this ability to do it innately naturally, don't even realize it, but it's just happening. And really it is about whether whether you believe it or not, it's happening. That's the key, right? It is a universal law, and this book really dives into explaining exactly why that is the case. So, this part, we are going to get into the bills, and how to deal with those bills, and how people end up feeling about bills, and how not to feel about bills. So, we're really excited to keep going. So, let's just go ahead and get this all set up. There's the book there. We are right there. And then let me just go ahead and get the audio going. Here we go.
Bills, bills, bills. Take a not too favorite topic, for example, paying bills. Unless you're in super financial shape, how do you usually feel when it gets to be bill paying time? Thrilled? Elated? Euphoric? Not likely. How about worried? Anxious? Or plain old down? Join the group. Well, here's the kicker. It's due to those very feelings of despair that we keep on having such a hard time with the bills. Why? Because whatever we're feeling is what we're vibrating, and whatever we're vibrating is what we're attracting. Universal law. That's just the way it is. Tony and his wife Ginger and I got together regularly to compare notes about our progress with the law of attraction. Thank heavens they were around, since they were the only folks I knew who lived close by, where I could let my hair down and compare notes. One night, as we were finishing dinner at my place, we began reminiscing over how it used to be in those times before we got involved in controlling energy. The conversation was light and comical, until Tony started talking about how ugly it had been trying to pay bills with no money. While I always enjoyed their company, the feelings that began to surface from this conversation were making me uncomfortable, as I had only recently started to come out of a long and difficult financial drought. I wanted the conversation to change. It didn't. Tony had always made a decent living, and with their kids grown and gone, the two of them could have gotten along easily on his income alone. But Ginger wanted to stretch her work wings again, so she went back into the real estate business she had left years ago. This was well before law of attraction years, but nonetheless, she did quite well. Why was it then, they reminisced as I was pouring coffee, that we'd never have enough money to pay our bills? I presume you just overextended yourselves whenever Ginger made a hit, I said, hoping to ward off the emotional discourse I knew was coming about how tough it was to live without enough money in the bank. Sure we did, laughed Tony. We were living it up until we realized what a mess we had gotten ourselves into. We had already refinanced the house, so that wasn't an option. We had never saved much of anything, so we had no reserves to fall back on. And now here we were with all this new income coming in, but somehow worse off than we were before, with more bills we couldn't pay. If Ginger had a good closing, we were almost okay. But if nothing was moving for her, we were in deep trouble, and it would take us months to recover.
Mm.
Uh-huh, I know the feeling. But isn't it great how that's all behind us now? I tried to leapfrog the conversation into a new direction, but Ginger was having none of it. For whatever reason, she needed to relive those painful days. I swear, Ginger went on, it got so bad every month that when it came time to pay those fool things, which I put off for as long as I could, I'd either break out in a rash or have a migraine. I'd pull out the stack, put it on the desk, and just look at it for a day or two. Then I'd get that horrible sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach because I knew that what we had to pay and what we had in the bank simply didn't match. So I'd pick out one bill and decide how much I could get away with paying. It was awful. You know what that was like, Lynn. You've been there. More times than I care to count, I reflected. Thank heavens that's all changed, sighed Tony, looking fondly at Ginger. Another year of that, and you'd be collecting on my life insurance. As he reached across the table for Ginger's hand, my heart warmed as I saw her eyes tear up with the happiness they both were experiencing now. They had turned their financial corner a couple of years ago, transforming their lives into abundance and sublime happiness. They had learned how to command energy. What contentment vibrated between them, and what a long way they'd come. What a long way we all had come. Tony and Ginger and I had spent years in various degrees of financial chaos because we didn't know a thing about controlling our energy. Each in our own way, as bill paying time came and we'd look at how much we needed but didn't have, the more uptight we'd get. The more we focused on what we didn't have, the greater our negative energies would grow, magnetizing even more debt along with less income to offset it.
Mm.
Our emotional focus on the lack of what we had was continuing to magnetize more of the same back into our experience, usually bigger and meaner and nastier than the month before. The process is like tossing a boomerang, one of those things you pitch away from you that circles back for you to catch or clobber you if you're not looking. What we send out vibrationally is what we get back. So until we change our vibrations, we're going to pull back to us whatever we've sent out. To put it another way, if we don't stop feeling and sending out downer vibrations, then downer circumstances are all we're going to pull back. We get what we emotionally focus on. Focus on what we want with passion and excitement, and presto, it's on its way. Focus on what we don't want with the same passion, such as worry, concern, etc., and presto, it
Mm.
too will be on its way. The universe doesn't give a crapshoot whether we want something or don't want something. It works strictly off the physics principle we call the law of attraction. We send the magnetic feelings out. The universe obediently delivers. It doesn't react to our pleas. It only responds to our vibrations, which come purely from how we're feeling. Does it matter what caused the feelings in the first place? No. They could come from a thought, from an outside event, or just from a general mood. But regardless of how they are initiated, the events that make up our lives come solely from our moment to moment, day to day, year to year outflow of feelings.
There you go. That's it
Focus.
right there. All right, you guys. Well, this is powerful. So again, let's just dive into this a little bit here, right? So it sounds like Ginger and Tony, they were going through some financial stress. And Lynn, who were also personal friends, they were reminiscing. And I think what Lynn was trying to say is that she didn't really want to go back to what wasn't working, but Ginger was insistent on wanting to, relive things. And luckily, it sounds like nothing really came of it, and they were able to figure it out. But that whole understanding that it's like, the passion and the excitement that you put through, and even and when we say excitement, that could be negative excitement. That doesn't necessarily have to be happy excitement. It could just be, I really don't want this, and you're frustrated and worried because you're focusing on what you don't have, and you don't have a way of getting it, and that kind of energy and passion is what's bringing in. And, I've done this, and this is something I want you guys to do, today or whenever you get a chance, is really think back on situations, but don't try to put too much energy on it. But look at your situation now and then reflect on when you know that you were thinking or you were feeling this way prior to those things happening, right? Because when I started doing this, I really started noticing, I was like, man, you know what? The only time I think negative is when negative things happen. And it seems so simple, but this level of awareness is what catches me now so that when I am starting to feel a certain type of way or look at things a certain type of way, I can catch myself because I know that if I continue down this path, then I'm going to end up attracting more reasons and feelings as to why that's going to happen. And the book is going to go into this a lot more in detail, but just do that today. See, just kind of check in, not too much energy, but just check in with yourself and see where, not exactly where, but when, not where or when, but like if you remember like actually feeling like this stuff was actually going to happen, that's happening to you right now, right? If you're going through something, or maybe you're going through good things, right? And it just really re-emphasizes how powerful the law of attraction actually works, and this stuff does really work. Like I said, it's just a matter of whether you're using it to your advantage or not. And that's what the beauty of this book is, and the reason why I'm doing this, this video series, so that people really can tap into that. So there really is, without a doubt, without a question, that you guys know that this stuff works and that we can all start to manifest together. So hope you guys really enjoyed that. We'll be back here again tomorrow, or if you're on the playlist, you'll be jumping right next to the next chapter here shortly. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss anything when it comes to the content that I'm producing, because I am going to be putting out videos every day, which I have been doing. So I'm really excited about that, keeping on track. And until next time, you guys make it a great day. Take care.